Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. If you want to get straight to the real insights in rugby, well, you're definitely in the right place. Before we get started, though, just a quick reminder, hit subscribe on Rugby Obsession. Trust me, you don't want to miss our deep dives. Okay, so today, we're diving right into the Springboks camp. Some pretty dramatic shifts happening there.
Yeah, it's all about their reaction to that tough Rugby Championship opener. We're talking Rassie Erasmus, the coach, making a huge call, 10 changes after losing to the Wallabies in Joburg. This isn't just tinkering, you know. It feels like a really strong statement. We need to unpack the strategy behind it all.
It really is fascinating, the decisiveness of it all. You know, that 38-22 defeat in Johannesburg. Erasmus himself said they let ourselves and the country down. That's heavy stuff. He even called it an embarrassment, which for a team like the Springboks, that really tells you how deep the disappointment went. Yeah, that kind of honesty, it definitely highlights the pressure cooker environment they're in, right? The standards are just incredibly high. And when a coach says something like that, you just know a reaction is coming. The sources are saying he wielded the axe. 10 changes to the starting 15, that's almost a whole new team out there. Is there a risk, though? I mean, could that much change backfire even if the intent is right?
It's definitely a calculated risk, yeah. But Erasmus, he often blends that immediate need with a longer-term view. Look, the changes aren't just one thing. First, you've got injuries. 4 key guys out. Khaleesi, Dutoit, Arendse, Van der Merwe. That forces your hand, obviously. But then he also sort of hinted some changes, like maybe Pollard coming back in, were already planned.
Yeah.
You know, building depth, testing things out. But, and this is key, he flat out admitted a lot of it was a reaction. He said, we also know where we went wrong, so we made a few changes that we believe will offer us what we need. So it's a mix, really. Circumstance, strategy, and a clear need to fix what went wrong.
That makes sense. Not just panic changes, but not ignoring the problem either. And speaking of strategy, getting Damien de Allende and Cheslin Colby back from injury, that's a huge plus. Erasmus called their recall logical because of their experience, and specifically their knowledge of playing the Wallabies. That feels very tactical.
Absolutely. And bringing them back, it's not just about their skills, brilliant as they are. It's about adding that composure, that leadership, guys who know how to win these big games. And slotting them in has led to this massive overhaul in the backline. That's where you really see the scale of these changes. Only Grant Williams at scrum half and Captain Jesse Creel, they're the only 2 backs keeping their starting spots.
Wow, just 2.
Yeah.
In the whole backline. That's quite the shakeup. So talk us through, what does this new backline look like? What's the thinking there?
Well, at halfback, you've got Handré Pollard alongside Grant Williams. That suggests, you know, Pollard's game management and kicking precision paired with Williams' speed and threat around the ruck. Then in the midfield, De Allende partners Creel. That's a very powerful center pairing. Strong defense, strong carrying. Expect them to be direct.
Okay, direct through the middle. And the back 3.
Yeah, the back 3 is exciting. Cheslin Colby, Canan Moodie, and Willie LaRue. This feels like a shift from maybe a more conservative kicking game last week. You've got Colby and Moody's pace, LaRue's playmaking and tactical kicking from fullback. Maybe less contested kicks, more trying to stretch the Wallabies defense wide. It's like Rassie saying, okay, we've got different ways to beat you this time.
Right, different weapons. I like that. Okay, let's pivot to the forwards then. Oxenhurst, Malcolm Marx, Marco van Staden, they keep their places. But still, 5 new faces in the pack. That's significant shuffling up front too.
It really is, and it shows that focus on depth Rassie keeps talking about. In the tight 5, Thomas Dutoit starts in the front row, adds scrum power. Then at lock, R.G. Snyman and Ruan Norchik come in. That's a big physical pairing, good for the set piece, scrum, line out, crucial stability there.
And the loose trio?
Franco Moster and Jean-Luc Duprez join Marco van Staden. So you're looking at a really industrious, tough back row, high work rate, big presence at the breakdown and in defense.
And like you said, it's about depth too. Erasmus mentioned is good for these other guys to get experience against a top team, right? Building the squad.
Exactly. It's not just about this Saturday. He's thinking bigger picture, building that experience base.
Which brings us to the bench strategy.
Yes. And this is fascinating. The return of the 6-2 split, the bomb squad. That signals a very clear tactical plan, doesn't it? Emphasizing forward power, especially later in the match. Classic Boks.
The bomb squad is back. Okay, for anyone maybe less familiar, just quickly explain the 6-2 split and who's packing that punch off the bench.
All right, so 6-2 means 6 forwards, only 2 backs on the bench. The idea is to bring on almost a whole new pack of forwards in the second half to just dominate physically, wear the opposition down. And the players, Well, it's stacked. Marnus van der Merwe is reserve hooker, not Bongi Mbonambi this time. Then Bowen Venter and Wilco Lowe for front row cover. And then look at these locks coming off the bench. Eben Etzebeth and Lud de Jager, huge impact players. Physicality, line-out presence, work rate. Game changers.
Wow. Etzebeth and de Jager on the bench. That is some serious firepower waiting in the wings. Definitely sends a message.
It absolutely does. And you round it out with Quagga Smith relentless at the breakdown, plus Cobus Reinach at scrum half, and the utility back Sacha Feinberg Mungamazuli. So the plan seems clear. Grind them down up front with the starting pack, then unleash the bomb squad, and use Reinach and Feinberg Mungamazulu's skills to exploit things late on. Like Erasmus said, we're determined to get things right this week. You feel that determination.
Yeah, you really do, and they'll need it. Okay, so let's lock in the details for this massive rematch. It's the Wallabies again, of course. Saturday, August 23rd. The venue is DHL Stadium in Cape Town. Kickoff, 17.0 local time. For those listening elsewhere, that's 01.0 AEST Sunday in Australia, 60.0 BST in the UK, and 15.0 GMT officials. James Dolman from NZ is ref, Ben O'Keefe and Gianluca Necchi assisting, Richard Kelly is the TMO, and Tuul Trinini is FPRO.
And the motivation is just crystal clear, isn't it? Erasmus hasn't hidden how much that last loss hurt. He said, "We are still hurting, extremely disappointed. We know we didn't play according to our standards, and we must rectify that." It's about restoring pride, not just fixing mistakes. He even said they know they let ourselves in the country down, so we have all the motivation we need. That honesty, it sets things up perfectly for Cape Town.
Absolutely. That level of accountability is exactly what fans want to see. It should be an absolute cracker of a game. And hey, speaking of staying updated on massive games like this, just another quick nudge, make sure you are subscribed to Rugby Obsession. You won't miss analysis like this. Now, turning it over to you listening. What really jumps out at you from all these changes? How impactful do you think the bomb squad coming back will be, especially in that final 20 minutes? And yeah, what are your predictions? Can the Boks turn it around this dramatically? We genuinely want to hear your thoughts on this.
So just to wrap up our deep dive today, we've really gone through these huge Springbok changes. It's a mix, isn't it? Injuries, some planning, but definitely a strong reaction to that loss. Erasmus making big, calculated moves. And you really sense that determination from everyone involved to, as they say, make things right. It's about setting their standard again.
Definitely. So maybe final thought to leave you with, considering how drastic these changes are, what does this tell us about just how high the stakes are in the Rugby Championship and, you know, the pressure on these top teams to adapt so quickly? Could this kind of really proactive squad management become more common, especially with World Cups always on the horizon? Something to chew on. Okay, that's us for this deep dive. One last time, please do subscribe to Rugby Obsession so you catch our next one. Thanks so much for listening to the Rugby Obsession deep dive. And yeah, we're looking forward to you joining us for the next episode.